Mr. President, today is day 2 of the ongoing government shutdown, and negotiations to find a resolution to our differences remain in a stalemate. Actually, I don't think we can even use the word negotiations, because you really can't negotiate if there's only one side at the table. It takes two parties, and there's only one party there. And yesterday, the Majority Leader, Reid, made it crystal clear when he blocked the House Republican proposal to sit down and talk. For months we've heard that Republicans need to sit down and talk from the Senate. The House has sent over a bill to do just that, and the Majority Leader blocked that. And to say that the people in my state are frustrated with this type of action is an understatement. Hoosiers and Americans are tired of the ongoing dysfunction in Washington and the inability of Congress and this administration to do our job. And we can't do our jobs if we're not talking to each other and if the White House continues to be absent. Now, I've just recently learned that the President has called down congressional leaders from both parties to the White House. I initially thought that's a positive step, and then I heard the news that the White House has already released a statement saying that the President is doing this to reiterate that he will not negotiate. So my question is, what's the point? Maybe a photo opportunity, but certainly no progress on the stalemate that we're addressing here today and tomorrow and perhaps for weeks ahead. It is ironic that the President's willing to talk and negotiate with the President of Iran or the President of Russia, but is unwilling to negotiate with Republicans or Democrats in the United States Congress. Sadly, this has been a model of the White House, continued campaigning and ignoring governing, assembling pseudo-campaign-like settings to blast Republicans. This is not a helpful strategy to achieve a resolution to this shutdown. We have seen a series of attempts by House Republicans to send over legislation that would at least fund some of the more dysfunctional effects of a shutdown. Fortunately, we agreed that we would fund our troops. They're in harm's way. They have families at home, trying to pay the mortgage, keep things together, buy food for the kids, save money for education, and do all the things while their spouses are overseas defending our country. It would be unconscionable to stop their paychecks. And that's a positive step that we have taken. But House Republicans have also offered a number of other initiatives, all of which have been deep-sixed by the Majority Leader. Not even allowing debate. We can do that in this morning business time, but not debate under the bill, and simply a motion to table, which does not even allow us an up or down vote. I want to mention two things that the House is going to be sending over, if maybe it's here already, be here shortly, out of 5 more proposals. And they also involve our uniformed soldiers. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, but I think all of us, every American, whether you're Democrat or Republican, veteran or not, would agree that we have a duty to remember, to honor and support those who have sacrificed so much to protect and defend our country. And when they complete their service and they come home, those veterans deserve to receive the care and support they need. So the House has sent over an act called the Honoring Our Promise to Americans Veteran Act, a bill that would provide funding for disability payments, the GI Bill, education training, VA home loans under the same conditions and in the same effect at the end of this just completed fiscal year. This legislation needs to be brought before us. It needs to be debated, and it needs to be passed, hopefully unanimously. I'm asking the Majority Leader not to deep-six this legislation. This is too important for our veterans, and it's needed, and it should be funded. Any attempt to deny this, I believe, will be a great disservice to the men and women who've dedicated so much and put themselves at so great a risk to serve in our military. Another one of those proposals, and there's 5, but I'll just talk about 2, is to Pay Our Guard and Reserve Act. The bill provides funding for the pay and allowances of military personnel in the reserve component who are scheduled to report for duty, many as early as this weekend. In Indiana, we have over 20,000 reservists and guardsmen, the 4th largest Army National Guard in the country, and the 6th largest National Guard force out of all 54 states and provinces and territories when you combine it with the Air National Guard. Indiana is home to 2 Air Guard wings, the 122nd Fighter Wing in Fort Wayne and the 181st Intelligence Wing in Terre Haute, as well as the 434th Air Refueling Wing at Grissom Air Force Base. The Senate unanimously approved to pay our troops and remove them from the crossfire of the government shutdown debate. Let's do the same for our reservists and guardsmen who are doing their traditional duty of 1 weekend a month. Or as Winston Churchill said, they are twice the citizen. Some things simply need to rise above politics. Let's join together. Let's address this issue and make sure the men and women who have served our country do not pay the price for Washington's failure to govern. Mr. President.